Hey, it's Mike with TechPBD.com, and today's topic is going to be on selling your used gear. I see a lot of players leave a lot of money on the table because either they don't know how to sell their used gear or they just need some advice on how to sell their used gear. So today I'm going to show you how to get the absolute most amount of money for your used gear. Now we'll start off with the paintball guns. What I can tell you with paintball guns is that when people go to buy paintball guns used, they want it to try to look like it's been really well taken care of. Now, one of the first things that you can do when you actually purchase your gun is to carefully preserve the original box, the O-rings, the manual, the stock parts, everything that comes in it. Sometimes it comes with a toolkit, sometimes it comes with lube, but just take all of that and just carefully preserve it. I don't understand why players, when they get their gun at home, they'll buy an Eagle for $1,800, and the first thing they do is tear everything out of the box and throw it all away. And then when they go to sell it, they only get $600 for it, and they wonder why. You just lost $1,200 fucking dollars. So, keep the original box and everything that comes in it. Just take it all, set it in the very back of your closet, and don't worry about it. But when someone is looking to buy a gun and they see all this, they see the original manual, they see instruction booklet, they see tools, they see lube, they see all of that stuff inside the box, and the box looks like it's in really good shape, it's really going to help you get a lot of money for your gun. So that's the first thing. So when you buy the gun, always keep the box. And the next thing I'll tell you to do is a paintbrush works really well with cleaning guns up, especially Egos, which are basically Intimidator clones. The paintbrush works really well in getting out a lot of the dirt, grime, paint, and everything throughout your paintball gun that you've had since you've been playing with it. So what I like to do is I always take a paintbrush, clean up my guns, clean behind the triggers, clean underneath the gauges, clean underneath the the feed neck, everything. Try to get the gun looking as spotless as possible. And then what I'll do is, using Windex, give it a nice little squirt of Windex, wipe it down with the nice soft towel or washcloth, and you can see how well that's starting to look, and take really good pictures of it. There's something else that I even do, especially with the Egos, and this looks really nice. Is how the Egos, they'll come with a inspected by sticker on the macro line. I'll pull that piece of macro line off, put it in the box, cut myself a new piece of macro line, go play, and then when I go to put it up for sale, I'll take that macro line and put it back on there, and when I put it back in the box, it looks like the thing's maybe been used a couple of times. Now, I'm not going to lie to somebody and tell them it hasn't been used, but at the same time, if somebody sees that the gun still has the stickers on it, on the macro line, they'll pay a little more for it because it looks like you take good care of your stuff. So that's just one of the examples of some of the things that I'll do. Instead of ripping the stickers off, just go cut a piece of 10-cent macro line, put it on there. When you go to sell it, it's going to look a lot better. So there you go. That's kind of the prep work on the gun. Now, I'm going to tell you where to sell it. Okay, probably the worst place that you can try to sell a gun is on the forums like PBNation or PB Review. Okay, it doesn't matter what kind of gun you have. Okay, you could have a gold-plated closer. You could have a one-of-one Eagle that you pay $2,000 for it. Okay, there's only two people that seems to be on PBNation. People that are trying to sell their piece of shit broken guns, and ion owners. Okay, so you put in the auction very clear, this is a $2,000 gun. I don't want an ion. First person you'll get. Well, I have a really nice ion. I don't want your fucking ion. Okay, this is a $2,000 gun. I don't want your $100 gun. So I'm not trying to bash on the ion owners, but it seems anytime you put a thread up on PBNation, you're going to have maybe one person that may be serious about it. You'll have 50 people trying to lowball you, and you'll have 1,000 people trying to trade their broken, shitty guns to you. So PBNation is the worst place to try to sell a gun or even trade a gun. You're just asking for a disaster. I've done maybe 20 trades on PBNation. I've been ripped off probably 4 or 5 times and still haven't gotten that money back. And PBNation, at PBNation, they give a fuck about you and your money. Let me tell you where you can sell it. eBay. eBay cares about you. eBay cares about your money. They have a business to run, and they do it properly. So any place to sell your gun is on eBay. Now, what I do is I start my auctions on Thursday. I start the bidding at like $100 for a gun, really low. And then any aftermarket parts that I put on the gun, I take all of those off, put the stock parts back on it, and sell the aftermarket parts separately. Okay, a DM6 or DM7s may be worth $600 or $700 period. Even if it's got a Virtue board, an aftermarket barrel, an aftermarket reg, everything, all of that stuff doesn't help the value of the gun. So the best thing that you can do if you have aftermarket parts on your gun is to take all those parts off, put all the stock parts back on, and sell the aftermarket parts separately. If you're not going to get anything for a Virtue or Tadeo board inside of your gun, but if you sell it separately, you're probably going to get about 80% of what you paid for it. So take all the stock parts out, put all the stock parts on it, take all the aftermarket parts out. Okay, now, so that helps you sell it. Now the same thing with the masks. Okay, here's my grills mask that I've had at least for a year now. I still have the grills box, and inside here I have all the hardware and the bag and the manual and everything that came with it. All I did was when I got home, took my grills out, put this in the box, forgot all about it. Now if I ever go to sell my mask, I have all this, and it really helps add value. This by itself may be worth 30 bucks. This in the box may be worth 50. With 20 bucks to have this sitting in my garage for a year, you know, it's not that big of a deal. So same thing with tanks. You know, when you go to put your tank up for sale, clean the threads down, clean the gauge out. You know, and another thing too, always snap a picture of the hydro date. Let them know, okay, it's 2 more years till it needs to be hydroed, 3 more years to get hydroed. Crossfire has a great service. I think they hydro tanks for $20. So if your tank's getting close to hydro, needs to be inspected, always link them to Crossfire. So here you go. When the tank's due for inspection, 20 bucks, ship it off to Crossfire. They're going to hydro it, have it back to you in 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. So, okay. Now, one of the best things that I can tell you when you go to sell your gun is to make a video of it actually shooting. Now, I'll go ahead and shoot one over the chronograph here. Okay. Don't know if you can see that or not. 295 on the first shot. What I did was I set this board up for 13 balls per second, but just wanted to show you guys the gun shoots great. You got nothing to worry about. The camera that I'm using right now to make these videos is a little piece of shit $100 RCA camera. I bought it, I think it was at Circuit City for 100 bucks. I use it for everything and it works great. When I'm done, I plug it into the computer and it's done. So what I do is I like to make videos of the gun actually shooting. There's so many shysters in paintball trying to pawn off their broken shit that when somebody sees a gun actually shooting, they pay a lot more money for it. So what I suggest to do is, especially like in the previous video, I showed you guys how to do the chronograph. Snap, take one shot over the chronograph, show it to the camera. You know what, this gun's shooting 300 feet per second. Here we go, we're going to rip on it. People are like, oh, you know what, that gun actually works. And the guy took the time to show me that it actually works. I'm going to pay a hell of a lot more money for him than some 13-year-old or 18-year-old guy that doesn't even know if his gun works or not. It's covered in paint. So always make a video of your gun shooting. And if possible, especially now with the rules changing, go ahead and send your board in for update. I know Bob Long will update your board, and Dial will update your board, Planet Eclipse will update your board, maybe charge you 10 or 15 bucks, but the fact that you took the time to send the board in to get it updated to the newest rules is going to probably get you an extra of $50, $60, $70 on your gun because the person that's getting it isn't going to have to deal with that hassle. So I think that's just about it. I mean, I've taken a look at the amount of subscribers we have right now on techpb.com. We're approaching 400. Empire Paintball, I think, has got 120. So I really appreciate everyone's support. I really appreciate all of the emails that we have. We've got hundreds and hundreds of videos to come on techpb.com, and all of you guys' support, we really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. I really hope this helps out.